Algérie special program dedicated to the African Startup Conference 2025, held here in Algiers under the high patronage of the President of the Republic, Ahmed Tebboune, the fourth edition that is characterized by an unprecedented participation with 25,000 participants, 40 African ministers, as well as 200 participants, exhibitors and global investors. And to talk about these major events, challenges, stakes and importance, I have the great pleasure to welcome three special guests. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome.
Thank you.
Yeah, can you introduce yourself? We start by Mrs. Boras. Farah, please.
Hello, Farah Boras. I'm a founder and manager of ThinkTouch Solution, biotech, medtech startup. So we are developing AI healthcare solution based on Algerian and MENA drugs, commercial drugs. Well, I'm going to tell it like more simplifying. We are predicting drug-drug interaction, drug-food interaction, drug-herbal spices interaction using commercial drug name.
Thank you. Now to our special guest, Mrs. Jasper Saiba.
Hello everyone, my name is Jasper Sembi. I am the COO of the Directorate of Science, Technology and Innovation in the Office of the President of Sierra Leone. I am so excited to be in Algeria today. I represent the government of Sierra Leone. I work for DSTI. In DSTI, what we do, we are the implementing arm of the Ministry of Technology and Innovation in Sierra Leone. So we build software for government, we ensure government systems and processes are automated and digitized, and we drive the country's digital transformation agenda. I'm so excited to be here. I look forward to partnerships. I look forward to introducing our own startups with Algerian startups and building more collaboration and bilateral agreements with Algeria, especially in the technology and innovation space.
Rami Mbrouk.
Hello, so my name is Mbrouk Ahmed Rami. I am the founder and CEO of Neurocycli. We are an Algerian green tech startup that connects consumers to the local recycling industry. We are very pleased to attend this edition of the African Startup Conference and are exhibiting at the conference a new solution of ours that we can discuss later if you wish.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, once again, thank you very much for joining us. Now, straight ahead, with not much ado, I have to start with our two startuppers. As an African founder, how does your startup embody the Rising African Champions theme for 2025?
ThinkTouch Solution embodies the African Rising Champion spirits by pioneering AI-driven medtech and biotech innovation from Algeria.
Rami?
In Neurocycli, the African Champions theme has always been embedded within our core values. So what we do is that we connect communities in a sustainable loop, and our solution is the embodiment of the African resilience, since our apps are composed of two layers. So we have a high-tech layer, which is the apps, but we also have a low-tech layer, an African layer, which is connecting people to people and making recyclables be recycled.
Yeah, Mr. Jasper, what does this theme, ring to you? What does it bring to your mind?
It means a lot to us in Sierra Leone as a government because we are pushing localizing solutions. We are localizing and we're empowering and creating the enabling environment for African-built solutions, locally built solutions to thrive. We're also pushing for collaborations among African countries. Things like the African Continental Free Trade Agreement, the Pan-African Payments and Settlements System are mechanisms that will enable the Rising African Champion agenda. We're going to make sure as a continent that African startups have very little and reduced barriers to trade within the continent, and that is something that my government is pushing for, and I'm sure the government of Algeria is also pushing for, which is why conferences like this, bringing together African startups, is an amazing experience for me, and it's an amazing experience and opportunity for the continent to collaborate and to build the enabling environment for African startups, which are the champions, the Rising African Champions that we're here to talk about.
Now, that's what we're going to talk about, actually. Mr. Mabrouk, now, can you tell me what can you see as an impact for, organizing such events, African events in Algeria?
Well, just tell you about this conference. So it is a great opportunity for us startups to not only exhibit our solutions, but see what our African brothers are doing elsewhere. It's also a great opportunity I personally see the conference as really being a stepping stage for all the African startups. So if you want to shine, you come to the Algerian Startup Conference, you meet the investors, you meet the attendees, but then you also meet people from all over Africa who come to Algiers to discuss innovation and startups.
Exactly. Farah?
Well, for me, let's say that it's an opportunity to meet my peers who are working on medtech and biotech, and also to build partnership with them. So it will be easy for us, like mainly in biotech and deep tech startup, not to settle there, but to have partnership with the local one because of the legal framework and also because of funds. So yeah, for me it's an amazing opportunity to meet my peers and also build partnership.
Yeah, Jasper, you came over from Sierra Leone to Algeria. That was a long trip, actually. Now, how do you see the impact of such an event?
Just yesterday, I took a tour of many booths. I was led by an advisor to the Ministry of Knowledge, Economy and Startups and Micro Enterprises, Mr. Mehdi. He's an advisor on technology. He took me to a few booths here in the conference. I saw a few exhibitions and I made a few contacts. I even had some phone calls yesterday with Algerian startups and Sierra Leonean startups and the Sierra Leonean government. So they're pitching to each other now. Right. So collaborations like this will only happen on a deeper level when we have conferences like this, where people meet in person and we connect startups. I'm from a technology background, mostly governance technology. So things like digital public infrastructure, DPI, digital public goods, DPG, are themes that are leading, that are at the forefront of our conversations now in Africa. And we cannot continue importing solutions, contextualizing solutions from other regions that are difficult to adapt to Africa. So we need to collaborate. I cannot stress this enough. So yesterday was a high opener for me. It was a very productive day because I got to over 5 startups that I connected with Sierra Leonean startups and the Sierra Leonean government, my team back home, and we'll see how we will collaborate. It's very much important that we do collaborate and these conferences keep going on and keep expanding. And I'm also looking forward to more African startups coming over and exhibiting their works here in Algeria in the next coming years.
Yeah, Ms. Boras and Rami, regarding your experience in Algeria and abroad as well, and how do you see the interaction of African startups in between?
To be honest, I might be biased on this one, but I really believe that African startups have a unique thing, which is that they evolve in a very unique ecosystem, as Sir Jasper just said, which means that oftenly we build solutions from scratch. We don't just get solutions and contextualize them because they just wouldn't work with our ecosystem, but then also that these startups are built with resilience in mind. It's a different ecosystem, different set of challenges, and it's also a unique opportunity to develop the tech of tomorrow. I often say it, whether it's here in conferences in Algeria or elsewhere in the world where I'm invited to speak, that if you really want to see if your startup is resilient enough, go test it in the African market and see for yourself.
Yeah, Mrs. Boras, I know that you had an experience in African continent. Can you share this with us? And
African countries are really interested in our Algerian market mainly, and both sides. I can say that in medtech and biotech, we do have the motivation to change the mindset, because we used to use I think European and American solution, but now we want to build our own solution, and I think this is the present and this is the future of Africa. I think we can build it by African, not by European or foreigner. Solution, because African may solve problem African, but not foreign person can do it. So yeah, for me it's really important, and I think we raised the awareness around that, and we started to not just only think but build Africa.
Exactly. I wanted to ask you a question. I mean, the other African countries, what fields they might be interested in Algeria to interact with, according to you?
Well, I work in the technology field and innovation. Right. I work in government. What I will advocate for is for increased collaboration in digital public infrastructure, mainly 3 areas: interoperable payment systems, digital ID systems, and lastly, I would say data exchange among and across African countries. If we can collaborate strongly on these 3 pillars, and if we can develop digital public goods, which are goods that are open source, that could be shared across the continent, that don't lock us in to vendors in the West and the like, we would progress impressively and quickly. And I think the best way for us to develop evenly across Africa is for collaboration, especially in the tech space, because as we know, technology improves public service delivery, and because there is unequal development across African states, we can even the playing field if we collaborate, especially with technology and at a government level. So it's really good to put together these startups, these private companies, but if at a government level our policies are collaborative and our solutions are interoperable, then we would progress in unity, and we'll progress really, really quickly and impressively as a continent.
Exactly. This is what we were talking, Rami, earlier before we started the edition about the tech and no-tech system and how we should implement the idea of startups and to in the culture of common people, let's say. So how do you see things, evolving?
Well, to be honest, I've been part of the African Startup Conference since its first edition. So I could literally see things moving, whether it's in the collaborative framework. Here, this year, we are lucky to have many delegations, many governmental delegations that are here to interact with our institutions on a governmental level, to level the playing field, to really create bridges in terms of collaboration, but then also in terms of startups. So many of the startups that are exhibiting here from Africa, like there are literally 2 or 3 startups that I used to be following like ever since 2021 or something, and to see them today come to Algeria to showcase their innovations and to be really to take part in the African Startup Conference really means a lot to me and opens very promising horizons to me as a startup founder, but then also to my other peers.
Now I have to move to Mrs. Boras and your favorite question. What are the challenges, difficulties that startups are facing, across the country and even, abroad, if there are any?
Well, I think across the country and abroad, it kind of same, because legal framework in biotech and medtech, it's like global. It's not related only in Algeria. And I can say that the main for me, like as a medtech biotech startup, it's a legal framework, because today we don't have any legal framework that allow us to certify our solution, like FDA, etc. And even to go to our expand to other African countries, we do have to have a certification so we can expand there. We can talk about fund, because also we do research and development, and it's really costing. And I think this is the main point for me. And also open them, because using AI, it can be for some of pharma industry a little abstract, because if we say AI, they always say, ChatGPT, and
It's directly linked, I mean, to the
yeah, but
ChatGPT or AI.
ChatGPT is only the name, but this is
It's a tool.
RAC solution, a RAC language, and it's not the same. We are developing our LLM Pharma in-house, and we are doing great work. We do have a lot of good profile in Algeria, mainly in AI applied to healthcare and pharma. So yeah.
All right, so just like, is it the same case in Sierra Leone or even across Africa as well?
It's the similar challenges across Africa. I mean, there are barriers to trade, there are barriers to expansion, and startups everywhere face barriers to funding. There's also the issue of access to funding, for startups. Same in Sierra Leone. But I think as we open these barriers with short intercontinental collaboration, we will see startups expanding into African countries with similar demographics, so which is something I think we should be pushing for. In Sierra Leone, for example, 2 weeks ago we signed an agreement with Nigeria, the government of Nigeria, the biggest economy in Africa, the biggest country in Africa. We signed an MOU with them for data exchange, interoperable systems, and for foundational ID data exchange, basically, for intertrade as well, especially on technology. So those agreements will go a long way to expanding the possibilities and opportunities for startups in both countries and in the sub-region to collaborate. It's a bigger market, we're a smaller market. We carry the torch for DPGs, for tech in the sub-region. So with the market and the speciality, we'll see a lot of core competencies trade in hands. I think the same will happen with Nigeria and with Algeria and Sierra Leone, hopefully, and all across Africa. So it's all about collaboration. Collaboration will break the barriers that startups face, and access to funding across Africa would also help startups to expand. And as Farah rightfully said, the legal framework is not unified across Africa. So if we can have policies and strategies and regulations, not just in biotech, but on every sector. If we can have it contextualized and unified across the African continent, then we would see lots of growth of startups and opportunities across the board.
Yeah, just this is the point that we were talking, Rami and I, earlier before the edition. Is it? I mean, do you think that it's directly related to the mindset? I mean, everything is based on mindset. I mean, if you solve this, point, everything will follow then.
No, I think it's not a mindset problem. It's a leadership problem. It's a political will. If our leaders, so the agreements are there. We have the African Continental Free Trade Agreement. We have the PAPs, the Pan-African payments and settlement systems. Those are all agreements that will enhance the expansion of startups all across the continent. So what we need is for governments like mine, is for the efforts that people like my government is making now. I'm coming here not just to clap for people who give speeches. No, I'm coming here to connect with these startups, to meet with the Algerian personalities, and to make sure these MOUs are signed. To
exactly.
Make sure
that's what such events are organized for. That's the purpose.
Exactly, but it's also, we also need to have the leadership that our ambassadors need to collaborate more.
Okay.
See, the ambassador of Algeria and Sierra Leone, very forthright, very diligent. He sent me here. Say, come to Algeria, come and see what we're doing, attend this conference and make contact. So we need more bilateral efforts like this to collaborate as a continent.
I mean, to be more straightforward and more active.
More active, yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So now in Algeria we have a special Algerian Startup Expedition program. It's organized, I think every year, and Mr. Rami and Farah, they have, participated in this kind of program. And Rami, can you tell us about this, your experience, and what is the added value to that after that?
Well, thank you for the question. So yes, I was a part of the Algerian Startup Expedition program, which is a program that has been launched for, I believe, 2 or 3 years right now. I was part of the cohort that went to Seoul, South Korea. We were a cohort of around 30 to 40 startups, and it was a really unique experience because the ecosystem was so different, especially when it comes to circular economy. As I am the founder of a startup in that field, what I think is that it really inspired us as participants to really look back into our solutions, to question ourselves in some decisions. But then it's also made it so clear that African startups are unique, because we just evolve in a different playing field, as my friend Jasper said. So most of the times our solutions have a little more grit into them, are a little bit more sophisticated when it comes to the different interactions within any ecosystem. Yeah. And I think that really highlighted to me personally, it resonated with me that probably the future of my startup is looking towards Africa and not looking towards the West.
Right.
I really think that our solution, I've been to many African countries before in different events. I've always seen my product fitting the market, but then going through the ASAP program for the first time to an East Asian market, I really thought, okay, maybe we are not built for this market, but it's also great news because we are built for the African market, which is, I believe, the fastest growing continent in the world in the 21st century, and will be the case for the upcoming centuries, we hope. And again, knowing that we have the African Startup Conference really as a platform to not only connect, collaborate, but then to also expand our ideas. It's different challenges out there. Our challenges look alike but are not the same, so there is always something to be taken for our products to be perfected.
Thank you, Ramit. If you have to describe it in one word, what will it be?
The African Startup Expedition Program. It was
Algeria, well.
The Algeria Startup. Maybe, hopefully, we will have an African Startup Expedition Program. So I'd say it was universal. If I had to choose a word, it was universal.
Great. Farah, can you tell us about your experience and where was it? I mean, was it in South Korea, same or another country?
No, I went to US. It was the first cohort for US. Mm-hmm. Well, for me it was really different because I have attended many Google events. One of them, it was Gathering AI by Google. Mm-hmm. And then we had a good surprise because we attended to a pitch session, and one of American guy pitched pills to me. It was one of our already tool we have built at this time. It was in September, I think, and it was called Pills to Me, and we had already developed a drug-drug interaction tool. It was the name of the tool is Wiqaya, which is prevention plus AI.
All right.
And it was a good surprise because we used to say that we copy paste. I don't like to say that, but we copy paste startups from Europe or from US. And for the first time, we said no. We already developed a kind of this
somebody else is copying past.
Yes,
okay.
And they were only in business ADA stage. So that was good for us. I mean,
if you had to describe it in one word, what will it be? I mean, what can it be?
Insightful. For me, it was really insightful. Yeah.
Yeah, good. Jasper, now I don't know if you in Sierra Leone you have such program or not, and I mean, if it's the case, can you share it with us, or if it's not, I mean, you just can describe what you think about such program for startups in Algeria.
Yes, we do have startup exhibitions in Sierra Leone. It's organized by the Ministry of Trade and Industry, and there's a local agency called the Sierra Leone Small and Medium Enterprise Development Agency, SMEDA, which organizes it. What I'm more concerned about is tech. So in Sierra Leone, we have a national tech summit, which we do every year. I think this year's was done a few months ago, 2 or 3 months ago in September. Similar to this, we have tech startups exhibit their solutions. It's an amazing experience. I'd like to invite you to come to Sierra Leone next year. Right. It's a really good experience, similar to this. But this is the African Startup Conference. So it brings people from startups from all across Africa. It brings thought leaders, experts, policymakers. So I've been very much inspired as I attend these talks, the conference, go through the booths and see the exhibition, see amazing solutions like Farah Think Solution,
Think Touch.
Think Touch solution.
Yes.
You know, it's amazing to see, and I can see already solutions that we can use in Sierra Leone. I can see already things that we're thinking about.
Yeah, sharing ideas.
Sharing ideas. I can see collaborations we can build. So it's very much engaging and promising, I would say. That there's a very promising array of opportunities for collaboration across Africa and with Sierra Leone in particular.
Yeah, having that said, I mean, don't you think that African expedition startups would be interested, I mean, within African countries?
Say again?
I mean, don't you think that it would be more interesting, I mean, doing such expedition within the African countries?
I mean, yes, which is what is happening here now.
To share and exchange, I mean, ideas and thoughts, because they are different cultures, different things. I mean, they can share and exchange experience.
True, but within Africa, we're not very much different. The demographics is almost the same, especially with the youth population and the disparity in education. If you accumulate the data, you would see it's similar across countries.
Yeah, similar, but the way we think, the way we react about, I mean, facing an issue might be different, and the reaction may change, so we can change ideas how to react to an issue.
Yeah, there are differences, but as my colleague rightly said, there's one theme that cuts across most African-built solutions. They are resilient, they are tough, and there's grit in it, because we've seen challenges across Africa. We've seen epidemics, we've seen wars, we've seen revolutions. We are strong people, we are smart people, and we are unified people, and we can connect with each other, we can understand our problems. We watch the news, we feel for each other. So when we build these solutions, it's not difficult to contextualize them to our different countries, because we're not so different. We're the same people, which is why we should be open up to sharing. We should build digital public goods. We should build digital public infrastructure that can address the problems in neighboring African countries, in sub-regions, and in across Africa as a whole.
Yeah, I mean, all in all, what I wanted to say as well is that such organization, African events, I mean, taking part here and there, I mean, these last couple of years, I mean, are doing very good to the continent countries, because early in the years, I mean, before, I mean, there weren't such connection between African countries. Now, I mean, with the means, I mean, transport means, technology, media, and so on, we are more linked and interacting. I think that that could be better during the next years. And how do you see the future?
The future is bright, which is why I want to end by thanking the presidency of the government of Algeria and the people of Algeria for putting together such an amazing event. I'd like to thank the Ministry of Knowledge, Economy, Startups and Micro-Enterprises for putting this all together, for inviting us to Algeria. This is an eye-opener for me. It's a beautiful gathering of thought leaders, of experts and of startups from all across Africa. The future is bright for Africa, and we will continue pushing for more collaboration, for more intercontinental trade, and for more data exchange, interoperable systems, a fair and unified legal framework and regulatory framework across the board. And we'll keep pushing for unified payment interfaces across Africa, for public goods, public infrastructure, and for governments and bilateral collaboration.
Yeah, for once, how do you see the future?
Well, as you said, bright, but I'm going to say also sovereign. For me, Africa is going to be more sovereign than before. I mean in tech and in AI mainly.
Yeah, I mean, do you reckon that, I mean, African countries are more connected, I mean, this last couple of years?
Yes, sure. Before, we didn't have such an opportunity to get to know each other and meet in person mainly. And now we do have African Startup Conference, who gave us this opportunity to meet our peers, discuss with them in person, and also exchange idea and also solution, knowledge, and everything. So yes, for me, it's the opportunity to be.
Thank you. Rami?
Well, I see a green future for Africa. because I really believe that in the upcoming years, in the upcoming centuries, Africa will be the continent not only the fastest growing economically speaking, but the more sustainable ones. Because we, as you know, we didn't, thanks to many different elements and also colonization, we didn't build our industry back in the time where other continents were building their industries. So, but thanks to that, we now can build on a blank canvas. We can build sustainable technologies that not only serve the current the current population, but also keeps in mind the future population's needs and well-being. We have also a great opportunity to build upon people's mistakes, which is what most startups often do. So we've seen a century of industrialization all over the world, and its different impacts on the people and also on the environment. And I'm really hopeful that the Africans, being as connected to the motherland as we are, will be taking these mistakes in account and build sustainable economies, connected ones, ones where each brings their added value for the greener future for Africa.
Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. We come to the end of our special edition. If you have anything else to add, Farah?
Keep moving forward and see obstacles as opportunity to grow.
Rami?
Well, yesterday it was Nelson Mandela, Patrice Lumumba. Yesterday the revolutionaries were meeting in Algiers. Today the innovators are meeting here. So I'd say let's keep building, let's keep working together.
And the last word to our special guest.
Let's open our markets, let's share ideas, let's share opportunities, and let's collaborate. Thank you.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for joining us. Ladies and gentlemen, that's right for this special edition dedicated to the African Startup Conference 2025. Stay tuned on Canal Algérie. Bye-bye.